Go ahead and get started on today's lesson. Whatever, man. It's 10:02. I got a lot of shit to do. We have a lot of shit to do. Okay, guys. Today, you guys will see the lesson on the learning portal today. I'm sorry, I can't figure out how to make these GIFs work using the tool that I want. But let's just talk about.
It's not showing on learning portal.
What?
Yeah, they kind of say week 10.
Oh, okay, my bad. Hold on.
Go to the URL and replace 9 week 10. That work?
Yeah, it works. But it's not showing on the tab.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so you guys can see, you should see it in just a moment, but I want you guys to think about where we've come in this class. Huh, what's going on here? Whoa. I don't know what's going on with the module sometimes. Okay, guys, sorry. Yesterday, let's get focused, okay? Let's get focused, guys. Okay, so yesterday we had to review relationships because it's critical that we understand how many-to-many relationships work, okay? And I'm sorry that, what the? So you guys will see that on the screen right now, this is supposed to be the GIFs working that we push to modules. I hope that you guys see it in just a second. But this is sort of what we've been doing over the course of the last 9 weeks, okay? We built something beautiful. It was very carefully thought out. It accomplished a goal right here. This timepiece right here was HTML and CSS. It worked for certain situations. What is the situation that HTML and CSS worked great? And what was the situation that is a static website?
Page for a particular email funnel.
Yes. So Ed's 100% right. It's just okay. So for static websites, they're awesome, but they have a lot of challenges, right? If you need to change content, then you need to write some code, get add, get commit, get push, right? In addition to that, it wasn't like very dynamic. Remember the site, the websites looked very simple, buttons couldn't be clicked on, we couldn't listen to that many events, etc. So over the course of the class, when we first started off in the first couple weeks, this was our clock, our watch. And then we started building more sophisticated stuff, like this one right here, this hourglass. Also a way to tell time, but with certain advantages and certain disadvantages. So for example, this one right here does not need a sun. It does not need the sun to determine how long it's been. Yet, it's actually not that great because you have to physically change it, right? And that's going to be error prone, right? We have to physically turn it over to get that working. And I hope you guys start seeing right now, like towards the end of class, that we're doing something kind of like building a watch. That's kind of like I think about our job, right? There's a whole bunch of fucking pieces that go inside of that. I'm talking about thousands of pieces that you guys can break. All you got to do is type the wrong thing. That's all you got to do, and you will break that watch. I guarantee it. Okay, so this is who you are now. You are very careful. You know, you mill the mill. You mill the metal so that it fits exactly in the right place. And so that when this little piece turns, right here, that little piece turns. And when that piece turns, this whole thing turns. And all of this shit, if you turn it around, the user does not see it. Okay, so there's a lot going on. This is why I keep telling you guys this job is hard. You know, this job is a lot going on. I want you guys to think about what are some components that we work with in this class, right? I already told you HTML and CSS, JavaScript, What are some of the other components, and what effects do they achieve, right? Can someone help me with any other component we had to learn in this class? How did we persist database across data across multiple machines? Yeah, a different way, more specific though. How can we persist data? Remember HTML, CSS, we could not persist our data. What could we save on the Google page? Nothing, right? There was one way of saving, but it was limited. Yes, what is the limitation of local storage? Say again? No, local storage will save it and it's still there, but it does have another limitation. Yes, it's only on one machine, right? I can save something, this cookie on local storage, but if I take my machine and I throw it away and I buy a new computer, when I log in, should I expect my stuff to be there? No, of course. What are you talking about? It should be there. Look, I'm on Facebook, right? I go to Facebook, I create a post, right?
Briefly, you're talking about local storage then.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to say, but
You
what?
should expect it to be there, yes.
Huh?
In the sense that as a user, yes, it's useful for it to be there.
Exactly. So from the user perspective, users can create data, and we can save that data without knowing SQL. That is very much possible, right? But if I take this machine, I throw it away, you guys will find that data is now gone. So users expect data to be persistent no matter where. Okay? They don't give a shit. If I send a message out here on Facebook right here, right? I expect that message to show up on my mobile phone. Okay? So that's the purpose of the last 3 weeks, okay? PostgreSQL, SQL, deployment to production, getting all these parts to fit together. That was hard. This has been hard. I hope this has not been magical. You guys had to do what? You guys had to define controller endpoints, right? You had to define controller endpoints, something like, I don't know, localhost, post. What do we do there? We're creating a post, right? If this is a GET request, we're getting all our posts. If we make a post request, what are we doing here?
Submitting all our posts.
We're creating a new post in our database. Why are we doing the database? Because we want to give the user persistent storage across any platform they use. Okay? I send a message on Facebook to whoever I send it to. I expect I open up my phone, that message is there. With local storage, I cannot achieve that objective. Okay? So at the end of the day, the technologies don't matter. What matters is that we deliver a production application for the end user. Okay? Just like this guy. The user doesn't care what gear does what. That's not their problem. They paid money for the watch. It's your job as a watchmaker to make those parts fit together. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, so for the last part of our, for the last week, we're gonna be building something beautiful. No! No! It's art inside of art, okay? Okay? This is what we're going to be doing today and the rest of this week and for our final project. Okay, guys, just think about this very carefully, what you see. Think about it very carefully, okay? Okay, enough fucking around, okay? All right, so I'm going to show you guys the app that we're building today. Very simple. We built this app specifically to have this be easy for you guys and you guys to do a little bit of research, okay? This one's supposed to be super duper easy, to be honest with you, okay? All you guys just got to do is clone it and run it. Kinda, okay? Clone it and run it. Who here remembers how to clone a React application? Yeah, it's not that complicated, right? Get clone something, right? And then afterwards you cd into that something, and then afterwards you run yarn install, and then you run yarn start. Something like that. If you forgot about those commands, you're in big trouble. I'm telling you right now, you're in big trouble. You should know these commands. It should be like, you know, I don't know, if you want to be a developer, you need to know this. So let's go ahead and demo the app. You can see that as soon as we load the application, we're at localhost 3000. Specifically though, HTTPS. That is important. This is how we make cross-site requests using HTTPS. This thing was developers who invented the web, invented HTTPS. They don't like wasting time. You guys like wasting time? No, this all matters, okay? So I'm gonna show you how we do that today. And just know that what we do today is gonna be solved by us, or solved for free by Heroku, and like, I don't know, just know that like our class, like we're gonna give you a little bit of everything, but at the end of the day, like you guys still need to do your own research, and like we can't cover everything in this class, okay? So we're loading the application. You can see that when the application loads, we have a bunch of different prompts. It's a type racer game. So what you're gonna do is basically type this text, okay? We're gonna see who types the text quickest, and then we're gonna see how long it took, the words per minute, and the error rate. Oh, this is something we stole from the internet, and your boy, how do you read your name? Kazi? Kakazi? Kayazi? What do you mean? Kayakazi? Okay, your boy Kayakazi upgraded it. So let's see what the basic functionality is. We're gonna do some basic data types are string, number. I don't actually type that fast. Array and object. The types of data vary from language to language.
I think that's pretty respectable.
Dude, 50 words per minute. I don't know if that's great. I don't think that's great.
Nah, it's respectable.
Whatever. So you guys now see that I made this request, and you see how long it took, and what was the thing I was just talking about? Databases. Okay. So we're now going to refresh our application, and you guys will see that our word per minute was 49 words per minute. User ID 1, and the time was 22:127. And is that right? Let's try it one more time.
Yeah, it was the first bit.
So try. Yeah, then we choose a dependency to run it. Okay, so the time was 6.4 seconds. I expect that if we refresh this application, our time should be 6.4 seconds and a new record. Is that right? Yeah? Okay, so that's not very complicated. For those of you that finished early, I want you guys to look at this application and make it sexier, okay? You guys are going to also add the top scores, okay? Just add every single time the app loads, get these scores. And to be honest with you, I've already shown you how to do that. Oops. You guys just got to read the code. You're going to clone the code, read through it, and figure out how to do this, okay? This is a part of your job one day. You guys are never going to go to a company and they're just going to be like, hey, you guys can build whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. That's not going to happen for a long time until you guys show how good you are. So what I'm trying to say is get in the habit of cloning code and like trying to set it up and reading other people's code. That will also make you better. Okay? I've got one feature I'm supposed to show you. Did I comment it out? Does anyone have any questions? Can we go forward? Anyone have any questions about this app?
React app?
Yes, it's a React application.
The Flask server backend?
Correct. All right, so that's what we're doing. We're going to connect our Flask API. We're going to forget about the whole templating system, sort of, okay? We're just going to return JSON from our Flask API, and depending on the endpoint, we're going to choose what JSON to serve. Okay, so I'm going to now stop the application, and we're going to figure out how to do this. I'm going to stop this. Actually, I changed my mind. Okay, so just go ahead and close out all this stuff right here. I don't want to confuse myself. Whoa. Well, everything just crashed. What's going on here? Okay, I don't know what happened. Anyway, let's keep moving. Let's go to Sierra. And now we're going to create a new folder. We're going to call this one, I'm going to make a directory. I'm going to call this one full stack. Type racer. Okay, I like that name. So I'm going to cd into it. I'm going to cd into type racer. I have two of them because I did this last night. Again, just a review. Now the next step is what? Well, this is our first full stack application, so we're going to build two apps today. Okay, we're going to build two. And then this folder right here. What folder am I in, guys? Yes, I'm in my folder, in my working folder, and I call this one type racer. So in order to create this, I'm going to, we're going to clone today, okay? So we're going to go to GitHub. We're going to go primetime tran, type racer. Okay, I think I did this wrong. I don't know my GitHub repository. My bad. Type racer, here it is. Okay, we're gonna clone this. So now I'm gonna do git clone, the name of the repository. I'm gonna call this one client because it's going to be our client application. It's gonna make requests to the server for data. Our server is gonna provide that data. Okay? In addition, I'm gonna go ahead and create a new folder. I'm gonna call this one API. Guess what goes in API? Can someone help me out? Yes, the Flask application. So now we're gonna move into our client. You guys will see client on the left, right here, and then API on the right, okay? So here's our path to our working directory. Notice that both these folders are sitting as siblings to each other inside of our full stack folder, okay? This is something you guys decide. You make a decision, but to me that makes perfect sense, right? These folders, one is API, one is client. They should be brothers and sisters, right? I don't want to put them in different directories. I want you guys to think about your file system when you guys are working, okay? So inside of our client now, we're gonna do yarn install. And then inside of our API, how can we build a Flask application? We do Python 3-m, we create a virtual environment. Then we need some other things that should be memorized. We're gonna create some stuff. Let's create an app.py and a gitignore and a .env, okay? So we can see on the left that our yarn install has worked, and now we can do yarn start. And if everything went okay, I expect us to be redirected to 127.0.0.1 5000. Okay? No, what do you guys expect to have happen? Whenever we start yarn start on a React application, what is supposed to happen? Okay, that is 100% right, girl. I like it. So you guys will notice that if we go to localhost 3000, that application loaded for a second, but then we got kicked over to 127.0.0.1. Is anyone here familiar with that URL? Does anyone know what that is? But which one? It's the Flask server. This is expecting the Flask server to be living there. Flask always runs on port 5000 unless we specify otherwise. 5000 is the default port, okay, the default port. So I'm gonna tell you right now that at this point we need to open up our React code. We're gonna open up our React, and then we're gonna open up, and we're gonna look at it. So I hope that this is not magical, guys. I know it's been a solid, 7, 8, 9, 3 weeks since we touched React. But you guys, this should not be magical, okay? So you guys will see that we've got ourselves a React application. Inside of here, there are certain folders that we expect to find, right? We expect to find a source folder. Inside of that, an app.js, and then a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Well, right, this one has a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I'm gonna show you guys something right now. If you guys want to collapse all of our indented code, all you gotta do is hold Command, press K, and then 2. And then you guys will see everything collapsed in, right? This is a super useful hotkey. I do this one all the time. And I hope that if we did this correctly, then you guys will be able to read this and to kind of have an idea of what's going on. Actually, my bad. I lied. I expect you guys to not know what some of these methods do. That being said, when you clone a repository, one of the first things you should be doing, especially if it's a React app, is looking at your app.js and then looking at the functions defined inside of it. Read them. Think about what they do. Okay? Does that make sense, guys? You need to clone it and then read it. You're just not going to clone it and then understand what's going on in that code base, okay? So get in the habit of doing that. It's not scary. Or it is scary, but it can be done. Okay? So here's some React code. All right, so I expected that. So let's go ahead and move forward. So now we need to go ahead and set up our Flask application. So after we create our environment, we need to source, and then we need to do pip install Flask. Okay, it's running. So I think we can do Flask. We'll do Python app.py, and then you guys will see that if we go here, Did that start it? Why is this not working, guys? Can someone tell me? Exactly. We have not put anything in our app.py. Okay, there's nothing in here. Of course it's gonna throw an error. So we need to import Flask from Flask, import Flask. Then we need to do some more. We say app is equal to Flask. We call that function. We pass it its default argument of the name of the application. Now we need to do that main thing, okay? Main, if name is equal to main, we're gonna do app.run. Debug is true. Okay, so now my expectation is we could be able to run this application, and it should open up a server, a process on localhost 5000. And do we see that running? Okay, so what is the objective now, guys? So I told you guys, I promised you guys earlier that we're gonna get our React application to talk with our Flask application, okay? We're gonna build one big app that is a part of two little apps, that is made up of two little apps, okay? Okay, we're gonna have one app inside of another app, okay? One app inside of another app. I want you guys to think about it very carefully, okay? So now, at this point, what do? We need to define an endpoint and test whether or not we can hit that endpoint, okay? So I'm going to define, do our app.route. We're gonna say this is our root route. We're gonna find a method called root. And inside of here, what do we want to return? Well, I'm gonna tell you that we want to return JSON, okay? We always want to return JSON from this API. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say obviously. I'm gonna say always on that one, okay? So how can we return JSON? On line 9, you guys will see that we do our basic root thing, and forget about all the other concepts we talked about in the last 3 weeks. We just need to call a function, okay? And we pass this function whatever it is we want to be JSON. In this case, I want an array. I'm gonna call it hello world. Okay, so JSON, as soon as I complete that, you guys see that the code editor is complaining. It says I don't understand what JSONify is. So I'm gonna tell you that it's a magical function that we get from Flask. So if we import it from Flask, right here on line 1, you see that the complaint goes away. Now my hypothesis is that if I go to a local host right here, I hit enter, you guys will see that we get JSON back, okay? And now we get JSON back. Does anyone have any questions so far? Someone please tell me why we got hello world right here on the right, guys. Someone explain to me in detail, like a programmer, please. Right here. Why do we get hello world right here when we go to a port 127.0.0.1:5000?
Didn't you go to your localhost 3000? That sent a redirect to there, and then it ran the app.
We always want to return JSON. So JSONify is a function that comes with Flask.
Yes. Okay, guys, just want to make sure you guys are thinking over here, okay? So basically, our only route that this application understands, no matter what it happens, it will always return this array right here on line 8, okay? Obviously, we can change this to foo and bar, and we refresh here. Oops, we need to reactivate. Okay, and we refresh, and now you guys see we have foo and bar. How can we get this output to be dynamic, guys? Yes, we need to have this hook up with our database. But right now, let's start small, okay? I don't want me to go there directly. I want to be able to go to localhost 3000, and then my client makes the API request to the server. Oops. Sorry guys, maybe I should have found this photo first. Yeah. Okay, forget about it. This is going to show, okay, we need to inject this data into our React application, okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, so here's the code that we cloned. Yeah, here's the code that we cloned. And you guys will see that we have this thing called our component did mount, okay? Remember, like, we thought about this extensively about whether or not we should just go ahead and refactor this over to hooks. But I promise you guys, if you guys go and work as a React app developer one day, you have to know what class-based components are, okay? I'm sorry, so we're just gonna let you guys deal with this problem today, okay? You're gonna have to read through it and know about it. Yeah, just work it out. Google, okay? Class-based components were around for like 5 years. Hook-based components only came out last year, a little over a year ago. So, there's at least 5 times as much articles out there online about class-based components that you guys can research. And those, it's not going anywhere, okay? So anyway, inside of our component did mount, we're gonna call a new function. We're gonna call this one, get excerpts, okay? And then we're gonna say, okay, we don't have that function yet, so now we're gonna define it. We're gonna say get excerpts is a function. And now we need to make a request here. We're gonna do a fetch, and we're gonna go to HTTP localhost 5000. We need to await that. We're gonna say this is our response. And then we just console.log our response right here. Okay, so someone can see an error. What's the error that we're gonna have? Yes, we need to async this bad boy on line 36. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at our local application. Oh, my bad. I'm going to go ahead and comment out line 133, okay? Because I don't want to get redirected, okay? I just want to see whether or not I can get the data from the API. What's the data that we're going to get from the API, guys? Yes. So if get excerpts on line 32 executes, and we successfully make a fetch request to localhost 5000 on line 37, we should get a response back, and that response should contain foo and bar. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this out. And you guys will now see that we get a complaint. It's saying something about, hey, this site can't provide a secure connection. So essentially what that means is that like Chrome has a whole bunch of validations to make sure that this request is authentic and it doesn't want you to get hacked, okay? There's a whole bunch of additional rules. I don't want to talk about them in detail because I don't have them all memorized. But to solve this problem, we need to do 2 things, okay? Look at right now. Do you see how localhost 3000, guys? Can someone tell me what this says right here? HTTP, okay? We have to make it HTTPS, okay? And the same thing is true for our request right here. This is HTTP. So both of these need to be HTTPS. When you guys push to Heroku, Heroku will do this magically for you. If you go... If you guys decide to host on AWS, you guys need to learn how to do this yourselves. Okay, this is another step of the process, another component that turns in that watch. So I'm going to show you right now how we can get this running using HTTPS. When we do this using React, all you got to do is type in HTTPS equals true and then npm start. We already get that magic for free. When we do that, you guys will notice that our request or our application, instead of starting at localhost or HTTP, now what do we have? Yes, HTTPS, okay? And we need to do more here, okay? So inside of our Flask API, we need to do Flask run, and then this command right here, -- certification equals ad hoc, okay? Basically, it just means that it creates a new certification for Chrome every single time. And then there's like a whole bunch of other problems. As soon as I run this thing, we're gonna see a complaint. We need a library. I was expecting to see a complaint, but I don't. So let's gonna go ahead and move forward. We're gonna open up both these. Okay, let's go ahead and close these windows. I'm actually confusing myself right now. So let's go to localhost 3000. Oops, where did that? Okay, do I not have my server running? Okay, so the reason why when I go localhost 3000, why is it not working? Because I'm looking at HTTP, okay? This is throwing an error right here. There's no server living there, okay? So now we're gonna change this to HTTPS, and you guys will see that we now go to our application, okay? We go to our front-end application. But right now it's saying that the connection is not private. It's complaining about a couple different things, okay? So in our instructions, we do have a link that will explain this and hopefully get you guys through this. Just know that this problem, it keeps popping up. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. So we're going to follow these instructions right here. And you guys can scroll down, and some of you may need to run this command. Okay, so I'm gonna copy and paste this command right here. Now I'm gonna close everything. And the reason why I need to close this is because I need to open up Chrome in a special, with a special way. Okay, we're gonna run this command. We're gonna open up Chrome, and basically this is going to allow us to make unauthenticated requests to our local host. Now you guys see that when I go to HTTPS, hold on, now it's not working still. I want to see a special thing on the Chrome. There it is. Guys, notice right here, you're using the unsupported command line flag, blah, blah, blah. It's basically saying that like our application is now less secure. So we're gonna go to HTTPS localhost 3000, and then you guys will now see that our application loads. Incredible. And you guys will see a complaint right here. We need to change something from class name to capital class name. Here it is. Here's where we fucked up. Line 209. Okay, we refresh. You guys will see that we have one problem that went away. So now the problem is what right here? You guys can see in the error, it's saying like get HTTP localhost 5000 failed. Why did that fail? Correct. Okay, so we can go to HTTP, and now we can fix this to HTTPS. Correct. Thank you guys. Amazing. Now we refresh this application, and you guys will see what? We get a brand new complaint. That's what programming is. It's one complaint after the other. Okay, it's a one complaint after the other. So what it's saying right now is that our access to this local host has been blocked by CORS, cross-origin request signatures. There's a magical solution that you guys need to just trust me on. So we're gonna stop our server. We're gonna run pip install Flask CORS. Okay. Now we can go to our application, and we're gonna say from Flask CORS, import CORS, and then after line 5, we're gonna say CORS. We're gonna call this function. We're gonna pass it the app. Okay, I expect that this will work. Now we can open up our application with that special certification that's ad hoc. And we're gonna make now we have a complaint, Flask CORS. I think I did something wrong, so I need to Google now, Flask CORS. I need to read the documentation. Evidently, I don't remember everything or how to do this. Pip install. Try this again. Pip install -u CORS. Now we run our Flask application.
It's probably from Flask underscore CORS.
Yeah, there goes. Correct. That's exactly what it is. So now we're gonna go back here. It's underscore. Ed was right. Now let's try to start this bad boy again. So I'm gonna deactivate, and then I'm gonna source it again. Now we're gonna run our application. Okay, we got past the original error, right? Remember the original error? It was kept complaining about Flask CORS not working. I deactivated and sourced again, and magically the problem went away. Okay. Now we have a brand new complaint. It's saying, hey, invalid value for cert blah 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 blah. Open pi open SSL. Okay. So you're gonna solve this problem by doing this. we run pip install py open SSL. Basically, we need another library. That's the problem. So now we run our application again, and bam, everything is running, okay? Right here. So now what is the hypothesis if everything went well? If everything went well, we configured our API to accept cross-origin request signatures, then when we refresh this application, I expect us to see this complaint go away and us to see a response provided by our server. In addition, we should see a request to the server right here in the top right. So I'm going to refresh. And do we get a response? We sure as hell do. Okay? And did we get a request to our server? Okay? Right? Okay, so now let's go ahead and just say, let's go ahead and look at our response. We're going to say const data is equal to await response.json. And then we're going to look at our, so we're going to CLG data. We're just going to see what we get back. What is going to be inside of line 39? Foo bar, okay? So how can this be useful, guys? I'm going to tell you right now. So there's a bunch of things this can be used for. Isn't like there's no wrong answer. Well, actually, there are a lot of wrong answers, but there are many right answers. So I'm going to tell you right now that our excerpts, you guys need to read through this code. Our excerpts is coming from this file right here, okay? And it's being imported into our index.js on line 6. And then what are we doing with this value excerpts right here? Someone please tell me what line 8's doing that I'm circling around. Exactly. Right now we're taking these excerpts, we're passing them into the app component as a property called excerpts. Okay? So I guarantee you inside this app.js we do this.props that excerpt somewhere. Okay? And then we just do a whole bunch of magic. Okay? So this is where we're going to spend some time reading through it and seeing what's going on. Does anyone have any questions so far?
I was confused what excerpts were before that point.
These are excerpts right here. These things that we're going to say. What'd you say?
For example, pieces of text that you don't have to type out.
Exactly. I fucked something up. Completed. Why do I not see the excerpts right here? I'm confused. Set up user. Set up user. If we have an access token. If we have a token. I want to see the game. I'm a little bit confused. Okay, what's going on here? I should just look at the render method. So if we have the state token and the token is longer than 1. Okay, now we're just going to add a token. Okay, now we got to decide to figure out what is holding this sign in right here. Oh, my bad. This one needs to be 1 as well. Okay, there we go. So here are our exports or excerpts. Fuck man, I can't speak English today. Here are our exports. Here are our excerpts. Sorry, I can't speak English today, for real. Here are our excerpts. It's inside of this file right here. So we want you guys to take these things and then stick it inside of our API. Okay, produce. Oh my bad, I completely forgot to do this part. My bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and we need to define a model inside of here. God, please someone help me out here. I don't remember this exactly. So we need to do what? We need to do we need to stop our server. We're gonna do pip install Flask SQL Alchemy. We're just gonna do Flask SQL Alchemy, okay? And we're gonna define a 2 objects, okay? No, we're gonna find 3 objects, 3 classes, okay? We're gonna say, hey. Okay, I hope one of you guys can help me out here for real. So we're gonna define we're gonna say a class user is equal to user mixin db.model. It's gonna be a db.column. Oh fuck, I forgot this one. ID is equal to db.column. I cannot type right now. The value is db.integer. Yeah, my primary key is equal to true. Okay. We're gonna copy this one down. This one's gonna be for score. We're gonna delete this. And then our last table is gonna be an excerpt. Okay. All right. So exactly. Nice. So you can say table name. I don't know how this goes.
I'm just going to table name without the.
Like that.
Yeah.
Users. Scores. Excerpts. Okay, so we got some IDs. So now it's complaining about what? It does not know what user mixin is. So we're going to say from Flask login underscore import user mixin. Okay, where's this magical DB thing coming from? We need to say DB is equal to SQL Alchemy. We pass it the at, right? So where are we gonna get the SQL Alchemy? From Flask SQL Alchemy import SQL Alchemy. Okay, so I think that looks good. What are some things about a score that we need to know? Words per minute. Hold on, I forgot what it was actually. We need time. We need time. We need time. Words per minute. Errors. Okay, now we can just delete these things. Primary keys. I'm gonna leave this very, very simple right now. Okay, we're just gonna store this, and then you guys can figure out how to do it. Also, a score needs to be. It needs to correspond to a certain excerpt. So we're gonna say excerpt ID is equal to. Come on, man. Is equal to db.column, db.integer. Okay, so our excerpt is going to be. It's gonna have a body, and it's gonna be db.column, db. Text. Okay. Let's add one more to our user. Say again? Yeah, a score will belong to a user, correct. Yep. Come on, man. Why is that? I need some more help. So we need to have user ID. Yeah, what's up, guys? Come on. Come on, guys. Okay, so a score is also going to belong to a user, okay? Guys, a score right here on line 17, it belongs to a user, right? A user has to play the game. They have to type something in before the score is submitted, right? In addition, a score also has to be corresponding to an excerpt, okay? And I'm just showing you the relationship right now of what you guys need to know how to do, okay? But just know, we're going to make an API. We need to post our score to the endpoint. So we're gonna say, okay, so we're gonna copy all this right here, and we're gonna say create score. We just call it scores, okay? Scores, and that's gonna be a method of equals to post, and this is gonna say score, and then what is user ID is equal to I know. So like this one right here, guys, this is actually what we're gonna do tomorrow. Maybe I'm getting ahead of ourselves. Right, actually forget about it. I'm just gonna post the score and forget about the user ID, okay? Tomorrow we're gonna add the user ID. We're gonna add Facebook authentication. Doesn't even. I'm just gonna leave it there right now and not let it complain. We're gonna hard code the score 1, okay? Is that okay, guys? Is it okay to hard code sometimes? Huh? Come on, man, let me hard code. What the fuck?
Yeah, but then tomorrow it's going to get like.
No, tomorrow you're gonna build the API again. It's all good.
But it's going to get confusing.
Just let me do it right now. We're gonna create one score, okay?
It's up to you.
Okay, we're gonna call this score is equal to this. Tell me about a score. So it needs to have time is equal to, it needs to have something like it needs to have a time. And where's this time gonna come from? Yes, request.form, time. And that's gonna have what it's gonna have words per minute is equal to request.form words per minute. And then it's gonna have errors count. I should say errors. Errors equals to request.form errors. And then we also need to have an excerpt ID. We're gonna hard code this one too, okay? And then I want you guys to figure out how to define the relationship. This is gonna be a many-to-many relationship. An excerpt can have many scores. One person can type this text in many times, right? So there are gonna be many scores that are that correspond to this exact excerpt, right? And a user will have many scores themselves. So that's a many-to-many relationship. Okay, so we don't have request. We need to import that. And go down. And now we're just going to return the JSONified version of our score. Okay, so at this point in app.js, we need to post our score in the correct condition, okay? So I'm gonna tell you that we already wrote a function for you that does this. And we also showed you the correct place in which this thing is supposed to be fired. It's on line 171. All you gotta do is comment it out, okay? You open up the application, you look for a method that seems to have a name that will post a score. I wonder what post score will do on line 46. Is he gonna sign in the user? No. Is he gonna create a new post? No, he's gonna create a comment. Also, no. Okay, so we're gonna find this function, we're gonna read through it, and then we're just gonna look through our project for the call to this function. And we see that on line 171, that this is in fact where it was called, okay? You technically did a bunch of magic for you. So now my expectation is that when we open our application, we start typing, we haven't learned how to do push notifications yet. We should see a request here. Now it's saying that our connection was refused. It did not accept that request. Why? We made a request to the URL 127.0.0/scores. It was a post request. Let me restart my server. I don't think that started with this thing. Oh, we can do pip install Flask login. Okay, now we start our server. Okay, we need to switch something to methods. We start our server. Okay, that complaint went away. So we're gonna refresh. We're gonna say Python dictionaries are the same as JS objects. So now it's saying that we made a post request to this URL and there's a 400 bad request. So now we're gonna look at our server logs and we can see that we did successfully make a post request here. Okay? So who here thinks they know what the problem is? I'm gonna show you the problem here is in our Flask API. What problem do we have? We never, say again? We have not made a database, right? We did not do db.createAll. And we also have not configured our database, right? So I don't remember how to do this. Can someone help me? db.secret key. We need to set up the secret key. Hello world, my secret is out. Now we do db. What? I don't remember, man. I'm gonna copy and paste this to be honest with you. So we're gonna, I don't want to mess this up. So we're gonna do, we're gonna go into an old application. We're gonna open up our code editor and look at our app.py. And I realize this one doesn't have anything. So I'm just gonna go to one that does have some stuff. CD full stack. CD API. Sorry guys, I don't remember all this one. Database SQL URL. Fuck, man. That doesn't look right. .config. Does that look right? I think it looks right? Okay, so now we need to figure out what goes in here. I remember it's Postgres, and then we have our username, and then our password, and then what? I forgot. At localhost. Yeah, that's right. And then we have 5432, and then lastly is the name of the database, right? Is it slash? I forgot. Slash, and then we're gonna call this one type racer. Type racer. Okay, so my username is primetimetran. My password is millions. Okay, so now we need to create that bad boy. We need to create that database. So now we go to pgadmin. Why does this not ever fucking work? It's because I can't click the button right here whenever I'm on a big screen. Yeah, but I don't see it here. I'm actually a bit confused why I don't see it over here. One second, guys. I need to open up pgadmin. Oh, there it is. See, I can't. Now I can click. Sometimes I can see it, and sometimes I can't. So we're gonna open up the new window. What key?
Token key. When you launch the new window for pgadmin, you need a token key.
Okay, yeah. All right, sweet. My bad. So now we need to create a new on our local host. We're gonna create a new database. We're gonna right-click it. We're gonna create server. Oh, my bad. We're gonna right-click it. Create database. We're gonna create a new database that's useful for this one project. What do I call it? Type racer. I'm gonna make it the exact same case just in case. Okay, that seems good. We're gonna save it. Okay, so now we have our new database here. And what do we need to do now? We gotta create that. We gotta create all the tables, right? So we're gonna do Flask, DB, init. Okay, I did something wrong. It has something, no, what's it called again? I forgot how I do this. Okay, I'm gonna go look at my old project. I guess I can't depend on you guys to help me. We're in Sierra. I'm trying to think of a CD, Flask, ticket one. Fuck, I gotta find a project that was set up without using yeah, that one. I'm trying to think of which one.
The very first last one we did like that.
P blogger.
FB was a bit like that.
But here it goes right here. Oh, I did db.config. Jesus Christ. Thanks for helping me, guys. Okay, it's app.config, okay? So now we're gonna start our application. See if this bad boy works. Flask DB init.
We need to define it.
Like here? Oh, right here, the app secret key is wrong too. Man, no one help me out, man. You guys suck. All right, so here we are. I pray that this works. No such command db. Okay, let's try this. I'm going to deactivate. I'm going to source it again. Now we're going to do Flask run. Okay, so now it's complaining about something different. I don't know why it does this all the time, man, for real. So now we're going to do pip install this thingy. Binary. Okay, now let's try to start our application. And this time it works. Oh, my bad, my bad. We still need to start initialize our DB, my bad. So now we're gonna do Flask, DB, and then please work, please work, please work. Why is there no such command as DB? What the fuck?
What's the error?
You saved that page?
Where?
No, go back to your code. Don't save it.
I think I gotta run Flask DB init first, right? Because we don't have the migration folder. We don't have a folder here that has migrations.
I think you can have those.
Show me from you haven't like defined migration.
Oh, my bad, my
Yes,
bad.
migration.
So it's from Flask. I don't know. Is it underscore? Migration, import, migrate. That's right. So now we do what? We need to do migrate. And what do we pass migrate? Migrate. Like this, right? DB? App and then DB? Oh God, thank you. All right, come on, guys. Flask DB init. Oops. So now we do pip install Flask. Is it dash migrate? Okay, now let's start our application. Or let's migrate it. Fuck.
Last migration. No migration.
That. Come on, guys. Finally, we got past it, this error, okay? Thank you for being helpful. So now we can do Flask DB migrate, and this will generate our migration files. Right here we have our folder. We don't have any migrations in here. So we run Flask DB migrate, and now we should see.
You've got migration folder.
Yeah. So here we are. We have our migrations folder, and we should be able to now start producing, our objects. So now we can do Flask DB upgrade. Okay, yeah, remember the original objective right now is that we need to have some tables in here, right? Tables. If I click tables, I do refresh. My bad. We still. Oh shit! It did already run on it. My bad. That's confusing.
Because you initialized it, so it's going to look at all the tables.
My bad. My bad. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now how many excerpts do we have? None, right? And we also have no scores. So at this point, remember what we do, what the original objective is. We want to start typing inside of here, and as soon as we complete, we need to produce the score. We need to make an API request to our API, and our API needs to produce a new record, okay? So we're gonna say, we're gonna start our application. Okay, that seems good. So let's go ahead and refresh. I'm gonna look for something short. Here we go. We should make sure not to add our virtual environment to Git. Okay, so once again, we have an error when we made our API request, and you guys will see that we made a post request to scores, and it returned to 400. Okay, so I don't know what's going on here. Somewhere right here on line 45, this thing failed. Okay, it failed. So how can we fix this? What's a good way to troubleshoot?
Look at
So I don't know. There's a whole bunch of shit going on line 45. At this point, we need to know line by line what's going on. So we're gonna look at this little code snippet. Wait, my bad. Copy this right here. We're gonna paste this inside of our API at the very top of this import. And we're just gonna look at everything, okay? So now we're gonna refresh. We should make sure not to add our virtual environment to Git. Okay, so now you guys see. I expect the server to be frozen right now. Okay, so the reason why that is because every single time we make code changes to our code, when we run it with this way right here, I think we need to refresh the server. Okay, so I start the server. Let's start it again. Then we choose a dependency to run it. Okay, we made a request. And notice how there's no error. If we look at our network tab, you guys can see that we did in fact make a request to our scores right here. And like it's sort of sitting there right now. That's why we don't see a response yet. So now we look at our server logs. You can see that our server is like frozen. It stopped working, okay? So what can we look at? Our request, and we can do request.form, and we can see that we do not have any data in here. Okay, so how can we request.method? We see this is a post, request.method.data. We need to get that data out. I don't remember how to do this. Request.args. Arguments. Okay, so Flask, look at request body. Guys, we're almost done. Okay, I'm sorry. Request.arguments.get. Okay, so we're gonna do request.arguments.get. What's one of the reformed things we get? Words per minute. That doesn't work. So we made a request here. Here's the body. It has okay, request.get. Get JSON Flask. Okay, I don't remember exactly how this works, but thank God for Google. So we're gonna look at a request.getJSON method, okay? So we're gonna do request.get_JSON. My bad, I did that wrong. Okay, there we go, guys. Evidently, your technical lead needs the other technical lead. So you guys can see that when we look at the request and we run that get JSON, we can get what? A bunch of fucking data, right? So now what do? We're gonna copy this thing over here. My bad. And copy this. We're gonna go back to our server code. We're gonna fix this, okay? So we're gonna switch this one right here. Paste that. Paste that. Paste that. Obviously, we need to switch out the keys here. We're gonna switch one at a time. We're gonna switch one to errors. Okay, so I expect that this will in fact fix the error. So we can do exit. Error count, my bad. Okay. So now we'll start our application. Now my hypothesis is that we should get a score back. What do we do on line 46? Whatever score that we create, automatically we just give it back to the server or to the client. Okay, so the client knows that if they get a response back that is an object and it is the score, then they're gonna get it back. Okay, so now let's go ahead and test. We're gonna refresh. Okay, we're gonna say React Bootstrap contains components as well as Bootstrap. If I hit period right now, I want to see a request and I want to get that object back from our API, okay? Remember, we're going to collect some data that's right here on our client. Our client is going to collect data. It's going to bang that data over to our API. Our API is going to produce some magic, and then it's going to give back that, that object to the client. So I'm going to hit period, and we now have an internal server error. So let's look at our server error and see what error we threw. So it says object of type score is not JSON serializable. But I suspect that if we look at our scores right here, we're going to have one.
I haven't added it.
No, fuck.
You haven't done add or commit or any of that.
Okay, my bad. Exactly. That is 100% right. I didn't do add db.session.add score, then db.session.commit. Okay, maybe this will fix it. I don't know. We're about to find out. Let's go ahead and close some of this out. I'm confusing myself. Okay, so we're going to refresh. Bootstrap was originally developed by Twitter. Okay, once again, we got an internal server error. How can I take this this SQL Alchemy object and turn it into a JSON object? I forgot how to do this. What'd you say? Score dot to dict. Like this. That work? All right, fine. So we go back here. Let me say we can produce APIs with Flask if we want to. All right, I forgot how to do this using using Flask, to be honest with you. Object of type. Okay, so we're just going to Quad, do you know the easiest way to do this? There should be an easier way, man. I can't believe there's not an easier way.
Make an object and then JSONify it.
Make an object and then JSONify it? I don't want to do that. It seems harder. Like this?
Yeah. Key value.
It's just going to say ID is equal to...
No, colon.
Huh?
Colon.
JSON.
It's a JSON object.
Colon? Okay. Okay, so we're going to say ID is equal to score.id. I don't like this way. Time is equal to score.time. Words per minute is equal to score.words per minute. And then errors is equal to score.errors. All right, let's see if this works. So we're going to go back here. And we're going to say first we clone it, then we branch it, then we add it, then we add it, then we commit it, then we push it. Fuck! Once again, I need to restart the server. I'm going to refresh here. We can produce APIs with Flask if we want to. Okay, so once again, now we have bad syntax.
Equal again.
Fuck, man.
Time equal again. And errors again.
I think it should be equals, right?
And ID, time, WV, and error should be string. It should be strings. They are all have to be string.
Oh, these things right here?
Yeah. The key has to be.
Thank you, Quan. Okay, let's pray. Bootstrap was originally developed by Twitter. Fuck!
Right. Something else.
I didn't start my server. Sorry, guys. That's how developing is. This is a whole bunch of errors. Come on. We should probably stick to Flexbox as much as we can. Oh, it did work.
Somebody shot
Right here. Right there. We got a 200, okay? Okay, man, I don't know. So now we look at our scores. Come on, guys, we're almost there, we're almost there. We look at our scores. You guys now see that we have our scores in our database, okay? This is it, okay? Where did this score come from? Look at how many words per minute that is. It's 83, right? How many do I have on this one? So I promise you that this data that is now injected into our PostgreSQL database came from a React application. And actually, if it came from our Python application, our Python API, the reality is that it came from both of these things working together to produce a dynamic and sexy application, okay? I want you guys to look at the diagram again. Look at it very carefully, guys. I want you to think. This is what we just did, okay? You guys can do it. You guys can do something just as beautiful. Look at it. All right, so does anyone have any questions about what we did? I've been talking for an hour. I want to go ahead and break and let you guys start working on it. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, you guys want to build something like this, okay? Remember. All right, guys, get working.